here at the Shanghai Autoshow. In my previous video I mentioned that I will also look at the old brands like Volkswagen, Audi, and here's Volkswagen. And as you can see already, those first impressions, clearly less people in this hall. But let's have a deeper look and see a little bit more like what's the main differences here in the way they appear at these shows. So here's Mazda. It's totally empty, nobody is interested in it. And here you have Audi as well. Let's have a look. I tell you one thing, I actually like Volkswagen much better here than Audi. And the reason is, look at this booth. I think it's much nicer done as well. It's very young in a way with the colors, the design. It's conservative design though. And maybe this reflects a little bit the last couple of weeks spending in China, where I of course watched a lot the traffic in Chinese cities. And I have to say, whenever I saw, for example, the ID4, that's this one, in that case, I thought, well, this is not a too bad looking car in a Chinese city compared to some of the upcoming automakers like NIO, XPeng and so on. This is not a bad looking car. It's actually having some design elements like the lit logos and the lights, which are a light strip, which are quite modern actually, also in the most progressive car market in the world. So yeah, one could say those cars are maybe not the most fancy looking ones, and certainly it's a little bit reflected here in the traffic if you have a look. So there's not many people sitting in the cars or queuing to check them out, but I actually don't think that those cars have a major issue with the exterior design. Maybe not every model is as sexy or good as the other one, but especially the ID line, I think, could actually compete in this market from the exterior design. The interior design though is another question in my point of view. So yeah, look at this. It's, what is this? The ID Next kind of a concept thing. It is at least something from one of the traditional automakers here. At least they're trying. The Volkswagen ID Bus is of course also a good looking car, in my point of view, a modern looking car. But the problem is inside of the car, because the screens and the software are just not up to date. And so I think that's where they're losing customers and excitement in this world. But still, my overall impression is that this is not bad. This is really not that bad. They have some work to do, but from out of the traditional ones, this is something that resonates the best with me personally. That's just my opinion. If I compare this, and I'm now walking over to Audi, which actually is a couple of more people here, so that might reflect actually the brand. Not a lot, but a couple of more. But there's really not one single car that I like, even from the exterior. I think all of them are kind of looking old school, pretty much. So compare this to the Volkswagen, which I just walked through. I think Volkswagen has done more homework than Audi here, to be honest, because Audi is actually the more premium brand and they should be in the lead, but in my perception they're not. So these cars are really out of a an old world which might still resonate with some people who like the brand and they like the aggressiveness of it and the sportiness of it. And maybe they are into gasoline cars, but certainly no one is here for the most fresh designs or for the most digital user experience. I cannot imagine, because there's nothing to see here, really nothing. So this is where I think I'm rather in the opinion that yeah, Volkswagen actually has something on the street which is more compelling than this. The only thing that Audi has here is this concept, which is not accessible, and who knows when this will be a thing, or will it ever be? Still, you know, in the end there seems to be more traction here with Audi, so this may prove my point wrong about Volkswagen and their design and where they are within the competition. But maybe in the long run, in the very long run, this will play out and in the favor of Volkswagen here compared with Audi. Because maybe Audi is just still living off of its reputation and image that they're still having. Who knows? Hard to explain for me why people get excited about these cars. And let's go on to one more Chinese brand, actually the car or the brand that the Chinese president Xi Jinping is driving. And they have a quite impressive booth here with definitely more people, but I'm also seeing they're already closing it down, so I have to speed up. Yeah, so this is not a reflection of what's going on during the entire day. As I mentioned, like, this is already a little bit late, but it's already more people than yesterday, not as many as in the first day, but I'm expecting that when the visitor days arrive, that this might be packed until the end. So this is now another Chinese brand, and you might recognize some of these cars, which I'm gonna show to you. So they have one of the newer ones where they show off also technology like LiDAR, and it's looking a little bit from styling like a what's it called again? The hi-fi. But of course, what everyone wants to see here is this car. This is the old state type of car. The Hongxi is driven by government officials, and now various variations here of gasoline cars that are pretty luxury, also some MPVs. It's kind of trying to be something like a Mercedes-Benz Maybach, I would say. Very conservative and old school, of course, but in a Chinese way, but getting more and more modern, as you can see with some of the concepts that they have on stage. And if you compare it, maybe you've noticed there have been more people here than, for example, with Audi or with Volkswagen. So despite the fact that this is a more conservative one, yeah, he can also get a bit of the communist flair. Nice. CCP style, nice. Now they're gonna call me CCP shill again. All right, I'll move on and check out BMW and Porsche again, which have been quite a disappointment yesterday. The BMW booth is actually quite nice, but the Porsche booth is not even done in a nice way in my point of view. And yeah, let's find it in another haul. Thanks for watching. Please support us with a like and a share, and consider to become a patron. Then thanks for watching. See you in the next one.